In the spring of 2020, higher education stopped in its tracks. The traditional, physical spaces where teaching had occurred for centuries were suddenly off limits. Administrators scrambled to keep the system running, forcing a massive shift to remote and high-flex models overnight. In the rush to maintain operations, institutions prioritized software acquisition over pedagogical strategy, conflating the mastery of technological platforms with sound instructional design. They assumed that if a professor can operate a video conferencing room or upload a syllabus to a portal, they were successfully building an online course. Minimum standards for course approval narrowed into an IT checklist. Administrators checked for published modules, activated discussion boards, but ignored the student's cognitive experience. By putting the tools before the teaching, universities engineered their own crises. Zoom fatigue, dead air in virtual classrooms, and high student attrition are the results of this tech-first approach. To correct this, we have to evaluate courses using a cognitive walkthrough. This evaluates a course based on how the mind processes information, not just how the software functions. This diagram shows the contrast. On the left, a disorganized web of apps. On the right, a stable architecture of evidence-based pedagogy. As technological noise fades, the pedagogical structure remains, applying across all digital environments, regardless of software. High-quality online teaching requires forcing technology to serve cognitive science. Saving online education requires abandoning the technology track and rebuilding every course from the bedrock of instructional systems design. Rebuilding starts with structural coherence. The foundation for any digital course is a base layer of significant outcomes. This establishes functional relevance, answering "so what?" by solving real-world problems. Next, a second tier of assessments locks in to strictly mirror those outcomes. Capturing complex ethical or behavioral changes in an asynchronous environment requires precise testing design. That leads to the third tier. You select learning activities that most efficiently train students to pass those aligned assessments. You cannot simply transfer physical classroom methods here. Many fail digitally without pedagogical modification. Tech tools like video players and chat boxes are just modular attachments that snap onto the learning activities. They are not the core structure. If you let a software platform's limitations dictate the learning activity, you break the structural alignment and the cognitive walkthrough collapses. Outcomes dictate the assessments, which dictate the activities. This top-to-bottom alignment is the architecture of efficient online learning. Even a perfectly aligned digital course will fail if the student does not invest sufficient time and effort. Digital isolation breeds disengagement, leading to the high attrition rates seen in fully online and high-flex environments. There is no single switch for student motivation in digital spaces. Research shows no magic bullet for engagement. To solve this, faculty must engineer multiple motivational pathways: feedback, communication, pace control, and relevance. For example, pace control gives students autonomy over their learning timeline, triggering intrinsic motivation that rigid schedules suppress. Motivation acts as the central mediator for every course, determining whether structural coherence actually translates into measurable, retained knowledge. In a physical classroom, enthusiasm is contagious. Online, motivation does not happen naturally. It must be designed into the environment as rigorously as the curriculum. The same rule applies to the social side of learning. A digital community will not manifest without direct intervention. This network graph represents 3 critical interaction nodes: instructor, student, and content. First is student to content, driven by quality media. Next is student to student, built through peer review, collaboration, and small group tasks. When measuring the impact of these social connections, the data shows they don't carry equal weight for retention. The student-to-instructor connection is the absolute highest impact variable for course completion and satisfaction. Relying on peer-to-peer tech platforms to foster community is insufficient. Explicitly scheduled interaction with the instructor is the true engine of student persistence. The final layer of a rigorous course build is universal design. Many faculty view accessibility mandates as an administrative burden, a set of technical chores pushed by the IT department. As this diagnostic scan shows, missing alt text and bad PDFs are structural flaws. Alt text and closed captioning are essential tools for cognitive inclusion.
Instructors must learn to format documents properly, ensuring screen readers can accurately parse the tags and structure. This includes selecting third-party tools and media formats that natively support accessibility, avoiding software that locks students out. A course cannot excel in a cognitive walkthrough if the material creates structural barriers for any portion of the student body. Universal design ensures that the pedagogy you've built is deliverable to every enrolled student equally. Executing highly engineered digital instruction increases workload and drives faculty exhaustion. Individual instructors cannot sustain this level of meticulous course design in a vacuum without administrative backing. Institutions must actively construct a protective scaffolding around their educators, providing targeted professional development, release time, and workload management advice. Software does not teach students. Faculty do. Only well-prepared, supported instructors can execute these high-retention strategies. Master the evidence-based pedagogy first. Let cognitive science dictate the course architecture, and force the technological platforms to serve the learning.